welcome to Find Out Nation. I'm one of your hosts, Jaime.
I'm one of your hosts, Nicole.
And we're here to talk about what happens when a nation starts fucking around and finding out. Nicole.
Yeah.
We have quite the article to discuss today. You and I both are like preventing ourselves from talking about it early because we need to talk about it. Yeah. So before we get into that, give me a countdown.
Countdowns. 319 days until the midterms. Yeah. So not bad at all. Not bad at all.
I feel like that is, we're getting real, like we're almost in like the twos. Like we're so close to the twos.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Then I'm excited for that. All right.
Yeah. 332 in.
So 332. I'm excited that we're farthering those apart. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
That's exciting. That's exciting.
Yes.
Okay, good.
And we're not doing the golf because they've not updated it at all. So either he hasn't really been golfing or they haven't cited him. So I just didn't even bring it.
Governor Newsom has found a new website that talks through the number of people that Trump has pardoned and arrested or something like that.
Interesting.
So maybe that's a new, Newsom launches website tracking Trump's top 10 criminal cronies as new data shows California crime continues to drop. So yeah, we might have to like start utilizing that as our next, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
it's a different
we
tracker.
need to check this out. Right. It's a different tracker. And I feel like it's one that, we should, we're going to have to check this out.
I didn't know that. Yeah.
I know. I just read about it on the toilet this morning when when I was reading about Governor Newsom. So yes, I think we need to like do some
hilarious.
Yeah. We'll do some looking into that. Okay.
Should we just dive right in?
We need to just dive right in.
Okay.
We were handed an early Christmas gift this week when Vanity Fair released what can only be described as quite the article. And so I got it digitally and it's a two-parter digitally. I don't know what it's going to look like in print, but it's two-parter digitally. You can go out and read the first part now without subscribing, but to get to the second part, you have to subscribe. Right now, they're running a deal that's $12 for the first year if you pay for it all at once for the digital. And by God, I could not put my credit card information in fast enough.
And I love Vanity Fair. Yeah.
Right. It sounds like you've had a subscription for
10 plus years. Yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah.
So yes, but I had to purchase a subscription. So the article has been all over social media just because, first of all, the pictures.
Oh my God. Give the photographer all the medal. Awards.
So
all the awards.
Indeed. The article was written by Chris Whipple, and basically he spent, 11 days meeting with Susie Wiles, who is the chief of staff, who, by the way, I had like never heard of before. Shockingly. And
really?
they talk about in the article how she has very carefully orchestrated a seat on the sidelines where like if people were coming in, she'll get the chair at the end of the couch so that she's not. And now that like I know who she is and recognize her face, now when I see things, I'm like, oh, there she is. But they said like, so Trump calls her the ice maiden and like very much she stays to the sidelines, which is so like 1950s Republican woman. It does not surprise me. Right. So anyway, so the article met with her. She was surprisingly candid in everything that she talked about. I was shocked at how candid she was.
Well, especially because it's been throughout the entire year. It's been from prior to him taking the oath. Like,
yes.
So from the very beginning.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Oh, yes. Yeah. But it was the real hero here in my mind is the photographer, Christopher Anderson. The pictures I don't want to say
Chef's
they're
kiss.
just, I mean, seriously, like just chef's kiss perfect.
Yeah.
They have up close, and I mean up close pictures of people. JD Vance, Susie Wiles, like
Caroline Levitt.
So let's talk about the Caroline Levitt picture.
Oh my God. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about both of them because I have thoughts about both of them.
Oh, yes. So the up close picture is so bad.
Yeah.
So for anyone that lives under a rock, it literally is this close. It is shocking to me the wrinkles the woman has on her face, which I'm not begrudging anyone like who has wrinkles, but I didn't recognize her. When I first saw the picture, I was like, is that Nicole Kidman, who is like 30 years older than her? Yeah. Like, I am just like, oh my gosh. You don't recognize that as far from far away, but when you see it that up close, you're like, girl, are you okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So then the other thing is, and this honestly kind of broke my heart if I didn't despise everything this woman stands for so much. Mm-hmm. You know, this bitch went out and got fillers right before this to try and look hot for her Vanity Fair picture. Mm-hmm. And you can see every single,
puncture mark. Yeah.
Puncture mark. Like, girl. Mm-hmm. That is so not flattering. And then to wear kind of like this sheer lipstick that goes around her actual lips.
What I love about this is because Trump has always talked about her beautiful lips. Yeah. And she's a beautiful mouthpiece. And she's so rapid fire. And he talks in a very disgusting way about her fucking mouth. So I love that they call her the mouthpiece in the article because that's straight from him.
Yeah.
And that's why they're zooming in on her fucking mouth.
Yeah.
But can we talk about her picture in her office, which I'm looking at right now?
Oh, yes. So I also, and honestly, this wasn't just in the picture of her in her office. Every single picture that is their full body makes every one of them look small, not like tiny, like small. He puts them with their heads next to light switches. He puts them in like Steve Miller on a couch that is 10 times too big for him. They all look like they are children. Like, it is very clear. And she is no different with a mantle that is up here on her. Mm-hmm. And like, sorry, go ahead.
No, it's fine. I find all of it, like when I'm really analyzing the pictures, like I'm going back and forth between things, but like when I'm looking specifically at hers in her office, like you can clearly see a lamp or something that's plugged in the wall behind her because you can see the tacky ass cord. You can see a crease in the fucking couch cushion.
The blanket is like wrinkledy.
Yes. I'm like, what? The lampshade on the right is tilted like this. You know that professional photographers, that is their whole, like, they're not just looking at the person they're taking the picture of. They're looking at everything around them.
Okay.
Do you know what I'm saying?
100%. And if you look at Marco
Rubio's.
Yes. And you know, they talk about he's got the crocodile that he keeps in his, but in his picture, in one of his pictures, like it looks like it's about to take a bite. Like to your point, everything.
Find that because I gotta find that picture because I couldn't get past the close up of his.
Yeah. Well, and so before we move on to that, because the other thing is with Caroline Levitt.
Oh, now I see it.
Her choice of outfit. I get she's trying to look whatever, but I'm like cropped pants. She looks like she's wearing a tube top. Like, I'm just like,
it's just bizarre.
It is. It's just a bizarre. She's not perfectly centered between the lamps that are behind her. There's still an ass print in the chair.
In the couch cushion. Yes. Which tells me
I'm like,
she was probably just sitting there and they took pictures in the chair and then had her stand up and then they went with this one. Like,
that's right.
there's no way the level of petty
I
with
know.
these fucking pictures. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so there's that. And then the one that I really just absolutely also could not get over was there is, so did you see the picture that was like, you know how on the Vanity Fair website there were like 4 pictures stacked next to each other?
Yeah.
So they specifically highlighted a picture that sits in Susie's office, and they talk about it, of Donald and Putin.
Oh yeah, where he signed it for
And
her.
Donald signed it to her. And I'm like,
Uh-huh.
how weird. Why
Yes.
wouldn't Donald find a picture with her and sign it and gift it to her?
Right.
Because we know they exist, because when you look at the picture of her,
Yeah.
it's like there are pictures there, but no, he
Yeah.
picked a picture, and he picks a picture of himself with of all the world leaders. Like,
Uh-huh.
you're picking, okay, whatever.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Here's the other thing that I cannot get past. Okay. They have the picture of her chief of staff, who, again, I did not know who her chief of staff was. I was like, who the fuck is this guy? Okay. And her chief of staff is this weird Dan Scavino, deputy chief of staff and director of presidential personnel.
Yeah.
Okay. So the side picture of him makes this weird look like he has dreadlocks.
It's bizarre.
It is. It's bizarre. But then the front picture of him, Nicole,
Not any better.
He looks like the kid, the man that stole Pee Wee Herman's bike in Pee Wee's Big Adventure.
He does.
For anyone watching the video, I will flash a picture up on the screen and hope to God that I don't get sued. But he looks like that guy.
I didn't even think about that. You're right. He does.
I can't stop seeing it.
It's weird.
It's so weird. Like, that's the other thing is, like, he gets them all with their eyes real big and wide. Well,
and when you're looking at the picture of him, what's in the chair to the left? Is it a backpack? Is it someone sitting there that's linked? Because you just see like a little bit of something, and you don't. So I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
I know. Like, the picture of Stephen Miller sitting in the oversized couch, they have him raise his arm up, so like you see his gut. Like, everything is just.
I had no idea that because in my mind, I had always thought that he was very much like Herman Goring. Like,
yeah.
Or like, not Herman Goring. That's the wrong one. I'm so sorry. Oh my God. My brain's not working. Hitler's head Nazi that killed himself in the bunker with
that was Goring, wasn't it?
No, Goebbels. It was Goebbels.
Duh. Yes.
So I thought that he was very small in stature. Do you know what I'm saying? Like thin and not. And so I was shocked to see a middle-aged
gut
on him.
Yeah.
Which I'm not saying anything about any kind of about that, but I just was shocked.
Absolutely
to see
not. But the point is like they clearly photographed him, all of them in the worst ways possible. Yes.
And do you love what's in the picture above his head?
I know. Well, that's the thing. So they put the picture of the Native Americans above his head, but they did that another thing. So there's a picture of a little Trump figurine with his, and then the ticker above it is like a Fox News ticker, but it's like AOC says Trump voters. And then, yes, like they did that. And so that's my point is like, the photographer here deserves a goddamn medal. Like he's a national treasure. But
do you know what challenge coins are?
Yes.
Okay, I don't know what those are. Like I see the picture of all the challenge coins, but I don't know what those are.
So I think challenge coins started in the military because there was a movie that talked about challenge coins. But it's basically like just it's like a 50-cent piece. And like one side is supposed to be yes and one side no, like the heads and tails.
Okay.
But it's often so like I think that they have him like in the police station and the fire departments, but I think it started with the military.
Okay, interesting.
Let me look. Hang on.
Sorry, I distracted you from what you were going to say.
No, that's okay. This tradition, which is historical roots possibly dating back to ancient Rome or World War One, is most famously associated with the U.S. military and has since spread to law enforcement, first responders, businesses, and various civilian groups. So I made up the part about the U.S. military, but I knew that U.S. military was a big deal because it was like, oh, I think it was the new Top Gun had a challenge coin in it, or some movie had the, and so I like went on a rabbit hole, and then I was like, we need challenge coins, like, oh, we should make Find Out Nation challenge coins, and then I was like, that's okay, hilarious. Jamie, like, stop drinking the wine, right?
That's hilarious.
So that's what that happened. Okay, so we definitely loved the photographer, of course, but the article itself was I felt done exceptionally well. The author Christopher Whipple was the one that sat down and had all these conversations, and then there was anyway, it doesn't matter. So there were a couple of like major standout things that I think many of us like picked up on. Mm-hmm. So the first one was Susie talking about how her father was Pat Summerall, and he was an alcoholic, and specifically like a functioning alcoholic, right? And she basically came back and said that Trump's personality is the personality of an alcoholic, and that's why she can figure out how to deal with him. And like, I 1000% see that response to him is like, he's erratic, he's unpredictable,
he's combative.
He's combative. He's going to have large responses to things that aren't always well thought out. Like, I can't think of a more opposite personality to like an Obama. And I 1000% see why she calls him an alcoholic.
Yeah. And he's petty. Most alcoholics at the end of the day are very petty. They get very hung up on past perceived slights and abuses, and they want to relive that shit just as much as they want to relive their glory days. They want to relive that shit when they get real rip roaring drunk and are looking to,
So he was asked about it, and he was like, oh, I agree. I have an alcoholic's personality. He's like, so he famously has, a brother that was an alcoholic. And so he's 100% sober.
He's a teetotaler. Yeah.
But he has said he responded and was like, she's not wrong, that, yep, that's me. And I have an addictive person. And so he interpreted it more like an addictive personality, but he was like, I can see why she can deal with me and other people can't. And I was like, well, okay, well, at least he's
interesting.
I know, at least he's self-aware of that. It's something.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I find it interesting how quickly they all came to her defense.
Oh,
because in Trump 1.0, she'd have been gone by today.
Oh, 1,000%.
So what is it about her that, you know what I mean?
I mean, they all, even in the article, were like, there's nobody that can wrangle this man the way she can. And that, honestly, so I know this is going to sound like crazy, but I have been in scenarios where there's like one person that can deal with this really cantankerous, difficult person who's honestly really smart and can get a job done. But like, there's only one person that can deal with that person. And so I get it. Like, you don't piss that person off, because if the cantankerous person gets released, the whole ship's going to explode. So I get
that was
it.
Interesting. Like, I had no idea that.
So she says her father was an alcoholic, so she knows how to deal with difficult men with big personalities. I make a specialty of it, she says with a laugh. So I thought that was interesting how she dealt with that. Vance, she called him a conspiracy theorist for a decade. She said that he is the person that running the article specifically asked, like, hey, these people that were MAGA haters that then flipped, do you think that was political? And she's like, no, they found their way. They found their love. Ron DeSantis found their love for Trump. And then they're like, really, Vance? And she's like, no, Vance is probably political. Like, she's like, no,
Mm.
you're probably right. Vance was political. So there's no doubt there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, Describing her, a former Republican chief who they did not name said, there are so many decisions of great consequence are being made on the whim of a president. And as far as I can tell, the only force that can direct or channel that whim is Susie. I don't think there's anybody in the world right now that could do the job that she's doing. Rubio told the guy that Whipple. He called her bond with Trump an earned trust. Vance described Susie's approach to the chief's job as an earned trust. So that's what I'm saying is like they all really, I mean, for JD Vance, for Mark Rubio, all of them to be like, there's nobody that can do the job that she's doing right now. I think they're all terrified because if she goes, I think.
Yeah. And I found it interesting at the very beginning of the article when it says that they were in the Oval, she was in the Oval with Trump and his top advisors, men that she calls her core team, which was Vance and Rubio and Miller and everybody. And they were discussing some things. And then as she relayed it later to him, Trump was holding forth on the filibuster when Wiles stood up and started for the door. He said to her, is this an emergency that you have to leave? It was not, but Wiles left him guessing. She replied, it's an emergency and it doesn't involve you. And she left the Oval.
That's what I'm saying. Like, yeah. I feel like
go fuck yourself. I'm going to go do what I need to do.
I need to do.
Yeah.
And I do feel like I've got to be honest, like seeing a woman in that position doesn't surprise me because as women, we always have to deal with men that have and like we make ourselves however we make ourselves in order to deal with who we need to deal with. But for her to be the way that she is and to be able to make him like deal with her is, to your point, very surprising. So yeah, I definitely find it to be surprising, but she is like, I mean, when you read the article, they talk about her background. They talk about her working on different campaigns that she's worked. So she's worked in the political machine more than any of the rest of them have. And I almost wonder if that's where the motivation comes, is the fact that she's literally the only person that really has a strong political background. The rest of none of the rest of them really do. So one of the things that also came out of there, of course, was Wiles called the cabinet a world-class cabinet, better than anything I could have conceived of. When Whipple was describing the cabinet, he's like, Trump's cabinet members are either one of the least qualified presidential teams in history, or, to hear Wiles tell it, disruptors, the only people with the balls to take on an entrenched deep state. Did you ever watch Glass Onion?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Dipshit Ed Norton, who is a dipshit, like that's like not to spoil the ending, but he's the head dipshit. That's what he kept calling them, were disruptors.
Yes.
And like, it is so humorous to me that that's how Wiles would describe them, as disruptors that are in there disrupting. Because she also described like RFK as, she doesn't always agree with him, but you have to go so far to the right to get back to the center. And I'm just like, no, you don't. No, you don't.
Yeah.
But okay, you whatever.
Yeah.
She had a lot to say about several of the people that obviously, like, she talked about how basically Pam Bondi whiffed it on the Epstein binders, which she's not wrong.
Hilarious. No, she's not
wrong.
Was.
Yeah. She's like, basically, Pam Bondi hands over all these binders that have no new information. So the article describes that they call all these influencers, conservative influencers. We didn't get invited, shocking, but they call all of these like conservative influencers to the White House to discuss the Epstein case. She comes in with these binders full of all this information, and it's all stuff that they had already known. It's all stuff that had already been released. And so of course they were like, what is this shit? We want the actual whatever.
Right.
So then she tells them all, oh, don't worry, I have the client list on my desk, which she didn't have. And the way Susie describes it doesn't even exist. And the fact that like And then she's like, yeah, so she whiffed it. Like she had this opportunity to like release some things and she didn't do it. And then when she's like, and just so you know, Bill Clinton's not in there doing anything bad either. Like I've read through the files. Trump
Yeah.
didn't do anything bad. Bill Clinton didn't do anything bad. Okay. Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. But whatever, we'll see what happens when if they ever finally get actually released. But at the end of the day, like, yeah, she was pretty open about it. I was surprised.
And I hated that Caroline Levitt was like, this was a hit piece. They took a
Yep.
lot of things out of context. They didn't, because I didn't take that from this at all. Like, I didn't, sure, the pictures, very petty,
Yes.
very
Yes.
much could be considered intentional. I mean, I think so in the ones that were chosen in the way that they, whatever. But the actual meat of the article, I did not feel like this was a hit piece on the Trump administration, because there's been lots of negative articles on the Trump administration, both 1.0 and this one, in Vanity Fair. This could have been way fucking worse if it was a true hit job. You know what I mean?
To your point, I did not feel like anything that she said, I did not believe that she said it. You know what I'm saying?
And that
like,
she clearly wouldn't have said it to all of their faces.
Exactly.
And probably has.
Right. And they said like all of the interviews were recorded. Feel free to watch it yourself.
She knew
like
that. Yeah.
Exactly. So
they were all
at
on
the
the
end
record.
of the day, that's right. And to your point, the way the article was written, yes, there were some key pieces that I was like, holy shit, I can't believe she just said that. Like Pam Bondi whiffed the Epstein files.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, we all agree Pam Bondi fucking whiffed on the Epstein files for crying out loud. Like, what are you, stupid? The one thing that I was surprised was she kind of criticized Trump a little bit on tariffs, because she was like, yeah, we were trying to get the cabinet on board with what the process was going to be. Trump just walked out and said it, even though we told him not to. And like, we still had to get everyone on board. And so it took us a long time to roll it out. But by then the taco moniker had already been established. Like that was fairly critical, but I don't think Trump would take that as like critical of him. I think he was just like, I think he's like, well, I knew what I was going to do. Like, it was very clear to me from that article that she's like, listen, Trump's going to do what he's going to do.
Yeah.
You need to figure out how you're going to get on board. Like, that's how this is going to work. And so, like, to your point, I did not take it. There were some things like either the Trump cabinet is the least knowledgeable in history, you know, either one of the least qualified presidential teams in history, or to hear how Wiles tells it, disruptors, the only people with the balls to take on an entrenched deep state. So could you say that calling them least qualified is a bit of a hit piece? You could say that, but that's not what Caroline Levitt was pissed about.
Right.
She was not saying that was the problem. She was saying that all of the words that were taken were like out of context, and it caused them to look bad. And I'm like, at the end of the day, like, I just don't agree. I'm with you. I just don't think I think the meat of the article is pretty fair.
I think it could have been way fucking worse. Quite honestly. You know what I mean?
Yes, I would agree.
Like, Jesus.
Yes. Okay. Some of the specific things that they talked about, though, that I want to make sure we are all aware of. So they asked about the East Wing. Not far from where we sat was a gaping hole where the East Wing had been just days before. I asked her about the fierce criticism that followed its demolition to make way for Trump's 90,000 square foot ballroom. Were you surprised by it? No, Wiles replied, and no. And I think you'll have to judge it by its totality, because you only know a little bit of what he's planning. Was she saying that Trump was planning more as yet undisclosed renovations? I'm not telling, she said.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. What the fuck is that?
Well, especially after you saw the stuff come out yesterday with the plaques underneath the presidential pictures now.
Yes.
Because he's such a fucking child. He's such a fucking child.
He's such a child. So didn't love that.
Right.
So then over lunch, Wiles told me about Trump's Venezuela strategy. He wants to keep on blowing boats up until Maduro cries uncle. And people way smarter than me on that say that he will. Wiles didn't mince words. The president believes in, so they go on, they talk about like the drug dealers, blah, 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 which it was interesting to me that Trump's Venezuela strategy is very clearly blow up Venezuelan ships, right? Like that is clearly his strategy, and it's to piss off Maduro, not the war on drugs that he claims.
Right.
So they were talking about it, and Wiles didn't mince word. The president believes in harsh penalties for drug dealers, as he said many, many times. These are not fishing boats, as some would like to allege. The boats, she argued, carried drugs. Eliminating them saves lives. The president says 25,000. I don't know what the number is, but he views those as lives saved, not people killed. I pointed out to Wiles, drug smuggling is not a death penalty offense, even if the president wishes even if the president wishes it were. No, it's not. I'm not saying that it is. I'm saying that this is a war on drugs. It's unlike any other one that we've seen, but that's what it is. Obviously, it's a war declared only by the president and without any congressional approval, I say. We don't need it yet, Wiles replied. We're very sure we know who we're blowing up, she told me during lunch in November.
We're pretty sure.
We're pretty sure. Like, at the end of the day, like, great. I love this journey for us because it's very clear that they, like, I was just shocked that Whipple brought up, hey, Congress hasn't declared a war yet, and yet you guys are just bombing people.
Continuing to do this.
And her response is, we don't need it.
And we're not okay. We're not worried about it.
Yeah. I'm just
it's pretty much what he said last night too.
Yes. So, yes, which we'll talk about that in a second.
So yeah, I was surprised she was that honest.
Yeah.
She definitely was not strategic in how she answered that question. That's
right. That's exactly right. I was surprised that she very clearly said, yep, the reason why it is the way that it is because Trump is playing a chicken with Maduro. Like that's it. And so
it's fucking wild to me.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing.
I know. Okay.
Because quite honestly, you could say that is exactly what Putin is doing with Zelensky.
Oh,
what he's been doing for 3 years is playing chicken with Zelensky. Till Zelensky
exactly
caves.
Right. That's exactly right. And in this case, it's all about the oil. Like it's all about the oil. So, okay. Well, the pictures are definitely brutal.
Yeah.
I was pleasantly surprised that the article was, in my mind, as candid as it was.
Yeah.
It did make me, I don't know. I can't say like, it surprised me at how close it seemed like certain members, like they intentionally photographed specific members with each other. And like Pete Hegseth wasn't there and Kash Patel wasn't there. Right. And so like that I thought was a little bit interesting. And then like the profile of all the different ones and who they were was interesting to me as well. So anyway, it's an interesting article. I encourage you guys to go out and read it yourselves if you get a chance, but definitely you have to see the picture of Pee-wee's Playhouse. So I'm going to post that guy. I mean, Pee-wee's Big Adventure. I'm going to post that guy for sure. So.
Yeah.
Any other comments on the Vanity Fair article?
No, I don't think so.
All right. So I have been under the weather for the last week. I've been a big baby about it. Unfortunately. So we did postpone this recording until tonight because last night Trump delivered a ill-advised, frantic, loud end of the year speech to the country.
It was not at all what I thought it was going to be.
I didn't either. I thought we were declaring war on Venezuela. Like I literally thought that's what that was.
What I thought. Because why else? I couldn't figure out any other reason he'd be addressing the nation if he wasn't telling us that that we were bombing the shit out of Venezuela.
Exactly, and
we have boots on the ground.
That's right. So he had said, I guess there was a hot mic afterwards that picked up that he said, "How did I do? I wasn't going to do this except Susie made me do it." And so some people are saying that he did it to distract kind of from the Vanity Fair article. And I don't know if that's true. I don't know if that's true or not, but he was like, yeah, I didn't want to have to do this. Like Susie made me do it. And I'm like, oh, all right.
That's interesting.
We know who calls the shots for sure.
Exactly. Yes. Yes.
So anyway, but he ranted on for, I guess 18 minutes.
Was it? I thought it was 15. Okay.
Maybe like so less
but it
than
wasn't
20
very
minutes.
long.
No. And she said it. So I guess Susie told him it has to be under 20 minutes. And the whole thing was just him like blaming, oh, I got inherited an economy from Biden that's garbage. And then all the same gaslighting that we've heard before.
Yep.
Oh, gas is $2.50 average.
And
the lowest is $1.99.
Where?
And
Where?
Right. Fact checkers are like, there's nowhere in the United States that gas is $1.99 right now.
No.
And like, he's like, more people have jobs than ever, except the unemployment rate is up. He talked about how he slashed drug prices by 600%.
Oh my God.
Who's going to tell him that you can only slash a price by 100%? Like 100% discount on a price is zero. Like you can't slash it any lower than 100%. Like someone needs to tell him that.
Yeah.
It's not possible 600%.
The math doesn't matter.
What are you talking? Right. What are you talking about? 600%. But anyway, he said that like there's 18 trillion in new investments, even though the White House published that there was $10 trillion in new investments that were happening.
That's fake news.
It's all fake news. Yes. His own White House is putting out fake news. Like, yeah, it's all fake news. Like, it's insane. Yeah. The only things that really came out was that next year he's going to address housing, which we all know is just code for we're gonna hire a Fed chair and force in a Fed chair that's going to lower the, interest rates again. Like we all know that's what that means. So, okay, fine. And then he promised to hire a new Fed chair, right?
Yeah. Well, and because he blamed the housing crisis on immigrants.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not the reason for the fucking housing crisis.
No. It is not. You are not wrong. It is not. And so like everything is Biden's fault. And I get it. Like, I think so. The way that a lot of pundits are saying is that like Susie realizes that his message needs to be economy. Mm-hmm. He can't say like the economy's great anymore and sound like an idiot and then focus on like bombing Venezuela and whatever. Like he has to like focus some, and she called it in the article kitchen table topics versus like whatever. And so that's part of what they think this speech was really supposed to be about, was the economy, which he did talk about the economy, but he's not saying anything that resonates with voters because all voters know that gas is not $1.99. Like we're not stupid.
Yeah. We don't live in Delulu land.
We don't live in Delulu. Like we do our grocery shopping. We know that food prices are still really fucking high. Right. Exactly. And so you can't just tell us that they are. And then we're like, oh yeah, now I believe you. Like that's not how that works. And so I think that's where the problem is sure, he might go on national TV and address the nation and tell us all that, oh yeah, prices are great. But if they're not really great, then it's not helping anything, Susie. Like,
it was all propaganda. It was all fucking propaganda.
Yeah.
But he did say one true thing last night.
What's that?
The one true thing he said when he was discussing, he was blaming Biden for immigration, and he was saying, that Biden kept saying we can't solve the immigration problem without Congress, doing their part, and we need Congress, and Trump's like, you don't need Congress, you just needed a new president. And that was the only true thing that motherfucker said in the entire 15 minutes he was on TV, because he's right. We just needed a president that was willing to shit all over the Constitution and a Congress that was willing to let him do it, and here we fucking are. That's
true. But I will say that in all fairness, the right way to solve the immigration crisis is not the way Donald Trump did it, right?
No, like, and that's not what I mean at all. But
exactly. Sure, Joe Biden could have done the exact same fucking thing that Donald Trump did. And he could have, because the right way is to actually fund our immigration, judges and lawyers, and actually be able to grant people like actual immigration status. Exactly. An easy path to citizenship. To your point, could Joe Biden have done that by executive order? sure shit. You know, he could have done at least more than he did by executive order. So
Yeah.
that is 100% correct. You are not at all incorrect on that. So I would agree with you. Speaking of a completely inept house. So Mike Johnson's having a bad week this week.
He's just having a bit of trouble.
He's having a spot of trouble. Yes. So as we all knew, and in all fairness, considering the outcome of what happened with the government shutdown, we all knew that like the point for the government shutdown was to force a vote. And at the end of the day, like that we did not get the vote, even though we knew that it wasn't going to pass, even if but we wanted to force the vote to force lawmakers to actually like vote no on increasing or extending the subsidies for the Affordable Care Act, Obamacare. At the time, you and I were very disappointed because we did finally roll over and say, okay, we're going to fund the government, and we did not get the vote. But Mike Johnson swore up and down that he would consider the vote. He shockingly did not. He did not bring a vote to the floor. He did not force people to vote. But in a stunning turn of events that, again, I don't think you or I could see coming, and has literally like honestly made the activities that went on for the government shutdown be even more impactful.
Yeah.
Is that so Hakeem Jeffries introduced a bill to vote on extending the Affordable Care Act subsidies. It required 218 members of the House to force it to a vote. Mike Johnson, of course, was like, no, we're not voting on it. Go fuck yourself. He got 4 Republicans to sign on. So it is now going to be forced into a vote. What's even better, so the fact remains, and like people are like, there's no way that they're going to get the vote in before the end of the year. The reality is that it's not going to pass. Like we know it's not going to pass. The point of the vote is so that the constituents of these people know who's voting against these subsidies being extended.
Their needed healthcare.
That's right. And so it requires 10 days for the vote to actually come. Obviously, the House is not going to be in session any longer for the vote to occur. So it's likely that the vote's actually not going to happen until they're back in session on January 6th. But what I love about this is that we're even closer than to a midterm run of having the vote and then having all these fucking politicians have to vote against it in an election year.
It's going to write its own TV ads.
I agree. And so I was reading an article about how Republicans can all agree on what the message is, and then everyone hammers that message home, and that's what makes them successful. Democrats cannot agree. This is the thing to agree on. Like, this is the thing. If there's one thing Democrats can like put on a fucking poster, write the TV ads for, put on like, it's, hey, I'm running against a guy that did not want to extend Affordable Care Act. It's interesting to me that 3 of the Republicans were from Pennsylvania, and then 1 was from New York that are forcing the vote. And so they're all like tight-knit group, but I could not have expected that this was going to happen. No. And honestly, like, oh my gosh. The other thing that this does is now it'll be interesting to see, because of course we'll have another funding bill that's going to have to be passed in January.
Oh yeah. It has to be by January 30th, right?
Exactly. And so it'll be interesting now to see like how Democrats vote for that bill, because like, are they going to try something similar now? Or since we are forcing the vote, are they going, like, what's going to change? So that'll be interesting to look at, but I am ecstatic that we actually like got the 218 votes needed to force the vote. A defense of Johnson told reporters today, after the 4 Republicans, or I guess it was yesterday, after the 4 Republicans signed on, I have not lost control of the House. We have the smallest majority in U.S. history. These are not normal times. There are processes and procedures in the House that are less frequently used when there are larger majorities, but when you have a razor-thin margin, as we do, then all the procedures in the book people think are on the table.
What?
So yeah, he keeps saying that they have this super teeny tiny majority. But the reality is like, sorry, sir, but you
Yeah.
still have the fucking
The
majority.
majority.
Yes.
And you clearly don't have control of your caucus, or you wouldn't have lost 4 of them to the
That's
Democratic
right.
side to force a floor vote. Like,
That's right.
they're losing confidence in you, Mike. You might
Yep.
be out of a job real fucking soon there, buddy.
Yeah. Yeah. I will be interested to see what this means for Mike Johnson, because to your
Yeah.
point, if it does force, like, at this point, I don't know of any scenario where now we won't force the vote.
Mm-hmm.
And knowing that, like, all these politicians that now have to vote in January against the subsidies, I cannot
They know
imagine
how that's
any of
going to
them.
look for them.
Right. Right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So now, like, what's going to happen? I don't know, but I am delighted to see this happening
Yeah.
for little Magic Mike Johnson.
Yeah. I mean, little Magic Mike. I mean, you said that this was why, that you thought this was exactly why the Democrats eventually rolled over during the shutdown. And I hadn't thought of this scenario. You know what I mean? So it
Well,
hadn't occurred
to
to
your
me.
point, yeah, to your point, like, I knew there was a scenario that could happen where, like, Republican and like, but I'm with you. I could not imagine a scenario where they got 4 Republicans on their
Oh,
side to
yeah.
force a vote. Like, I could not.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
Well, and I don't know the timing either for the ACA. Like,
So
like we all have open enrollment periods, and then we have deadlines for those open enrollment
Right.
periods. So is January 6th, like,
So listen,
yeah, tell
this
me.
is how, like, oh, this is how good this is. The subsidies are going to expire December 31st.
Yes.
So voters will absolutely know how much their amounts are going to, like, if the vote had occurred in December, there is a world where they would have rolled over and gone ahead and extended the subsidies so that their constituents would never see the impact of voting those out until after they got elected, right? So, like, there's the possibility that they might have tried to speed up this vote in December. But as you saw, Mike Johnson, like, told everyone to go home today.
Yeah.
And, like, again, there's a waiting period before the bill actually it gets brought to the floor to be voted on. And so, like, Billy Bob is going to see a bill that goes from $200 to $1,200 dollars in January. There's no way that that's not going to happen now. And so now when they vote, it's going to be right fucking in front of their constituents that say, yep, this is the amount.
So if they vote in January to extend the ACA subsidies, it'll happen immediately, right? Like, it's not a thing like with our private insurance, right? Where it's like, fuck, we're locked in for a year, so you guys are going to dick around with these high prices and for another year. Like, can they lower it back down?
Yeah.
Because it's the government's plan.
Exactly. Well, and these are like grants that you grant people to, right. Exactly. So I do think that it would, I don't know that for sure. I should do some research before I just go spouting off, like I know everything. But I think because they are subsidies that they can vote them back in immediately.
Yeah.
Again, I don't see a world where that's going to happen. But if it does happen, yeah.
But to your point, it is interesting that they're at least going to see one bill that fucking skyrockets because of this.
Yeah. Because what's the average ACA subsidy? Because I remember, like, the average expiring average cost. So they are increasing by over 100% on average, meaning potentially an extra $1,000 or more annually for many.
100 or 600%? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. They said that enrollees could pay over twice what they currently pay, with KFF estimating an average increase of $1,016 annually.
And what's going to be really interesting, because I've read so many articles about this, of like how many people don't realize they're on Obamacare / the ACA, because it's called something different in their state. It's called CanCare, or it's called what, you know what I mean? And so they haven't put two and two together that they're on the ACA, and then they're going to get hit with this bill and be like, motherfucker. You know what I mean?
Yes, you're 1000% correct. You are 1000% correct. So yeah, that's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
So that was one of the other big Christmas gifts given to us.
Yeah.
But let's talk about something very, very sad.
Okay.
Beloved director Rob Reiner was murdered. Him and his wife were murdered in their home over the weekend by their son, Nick.
Yeah.
More details have come out. Well, allegedly by their son, Nick, but at this point, like, we can all pretty much believe that that's the case. More details are coming out that they fought at a party at Conan O'Brien's over the weekend, that he was back on illicit substances, that there was whatever. We know that, like, Nick was struggling. He struggles quite a bit. And then it was Rob Reiner's daughter, Romy, who was the one that actually, like, called the police and were like, hey, break in, we need to. And then she found her parents there. Okay. Normally we wouldn't report out on this kind of stuff, but the crazy motherfucker in the White House, in the Oval Office, decided to tweet on it. I honestly thought this was going to be the topic of most of our conversation tonight because it was so fucking unhinged. But then Vanity Fair came out and I could not help myself. But Trump's response to Rob Reiner. So I just want to read it because it's just so fucking unhinged.
Yeah.
This was on Truth Social. A very sad thing happened last night in Hollywood. Rob Reiner, a tortured and struggling but once very talented movie director and comedy star, has passed away, together with his wife Michelle, reportedly due to the anger he caused others through his massive, unyielding, and incurable affliction with a mind-crippling disease known as Trump derangement syndrome, sometimes referred to as TDS. He was known to have driven people crazy by his raging obsession of President Donald J. Trump, with his obvious paranoia reaching new heights as the Trump administration surpassed all goals and expectations of greatness. And with the golden age of America upon us, perhaps like never before, may Rob and Michelle rest in peace. Who responds to a fucking murder? And can I just say, like, he put this out within like hours of them being found dead at home. And like, it is getting so bad of like, we have to point the political finger that this is the very first thing that Trump, number one, assumes, and then number one sends out, is that this is politically motivated. And the fact that, like, you're going to absolutely eviscerate this guy, a tortured and struggling, he had a mind crippling disease, you know, he had raging upset. Like, really, we're going to talk about the deceased that way? Are you fucking kidding me? Countless number of people, including a lot of Republicans, have come out and are like, go fuck yourself, Donald Trump, right? They've all come out and said, like, I cannot believe you would say what you would say. So then a reporter's like, do you regret saying what you said? And he doubles down and is like, nope, that guy, fuck that guy.
I didn't like him.
Yeah. I didn't like him, whatever. Like, who responds that way? What grown adult responds that way to somebody dying?
The same kind of grown adult that wanted people that were speaking poorly of Charlie Kirk after he was murdered.
Yeah.
To be put in jail.
Yeah.
Like,
yes,
because it's okay for him to do it, but it's not okay for anyone else to do it.
That's right. Because that's how he operates.
Exactly. And it is I mean, Jesus Christ. It's why I can't understand why people fucking vote for this man. Why people still fucking support this man. Why people think that he is a good person.
I know.
Like, you could, I mean, and everything has to be about him. That's the thing. He wasn't for 1 second gonna because I have no doubt that if he was not president, if he had, God, in a much fairer world, never won any election, he would have been twatting out the same bullshit from Trump Tower about Rob Reiner potentially. You know what I mean? But because everything has to be about him all the fucking time.
Yep.
Like,
all the time.
It's just, it's so fucking sad and so small of him that like,
That's it, is that it's small. To your point,
Yeah.
it's small. That's
Yeah.
exactly what it is. And I'm shocked that like, and we're doubling down. Like we're taking someone who's like everyone is like, even James Woods, who's a staunch Republican, is like,
Yeah.
even though we had political differences, I loved the man. He was smart. He was caring. He was blah, blah, blah. Like people just loved him. And so like the fact that that's what we're going to do. Um, Other topics that happened this week, the HHS is slashing funding and access to care for transgender minors, stating doctors across the country provide needless and irreversible sex rejecting procedures that violate their sacred Hippocratic oath, endangering the very lives that they are sworn to safeguard. Now, listen, I have feelings about this. If AJ came to me today and was like, I want to go through a sex change operation, and he's a minor, I, as a parent, would say, no, you need to wait until you are grown. But I should be able to decide that with my minor child, is my
Mm-hmm.
feeling about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like at the end of the day, because I have also, like, if I have a child that's on the brink of suicide
Mm-hmm.
because they know that they have body dysmorphia and this and that, I would probably have a very different feeling about it. I might
Mm-hmm.
say something totally different. Is it worth saving a life to go ahead and make these changes now? Absolutely. Like,
Right.
so that's my thing, is like, yes, I understand the idea that like minor children are minor children and you're dealing with parents and whatever. But at the end of the day, it should be the parents that get to make that decision and not the government coming in and making the decision just like they do when it comes to abortion. So this is what kills me, is like, okay, we're just going to remove all the funding. And the worst part about it is that what they're doing is removing funding that's being used for all sorts of other beneficial reasons to hospitals that might also provide some of these services and
Mm.
procedures. It's not like this is money earmarked for that work.
For that
It's money
specific thing.
that's earmarked, right, for other things like research and care. And it's just really depressing. So that
Mm-hmm.
was something that happened this week. The Kennedy Center
Oh,
board,
Jesus Christ.
who was hand picked by Trump,
Mm-hmm.
is voting to rename it the Trump Kennedy Center.
Yes.
We'll see what happens there, because like people are already really fucking pissed about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So RFK's grandson, Joe Kennedy III, came out and said that Trump can't rename the Kennedy Center no matter what anyone says. The White House has already announced the change,
Oh my God. Of course they have.
of course. But there's so I guess that there's what Joe has said, Joe Kennedy, is that there's a law that prohibits renaming the Kennedy Center.
Oh,
So
interesting.
I don't know anything about that yet, so we're gonna have to figure out what that is. But yeah, this, because it's supposed to be a memorial to a fallen
Mm-hmm.
president. It says that it can no longer sooner be renamed than someone can rename the Lincoln Memorial, no matter what anyone
Oh,
says.
interesting.
So yeah, so it'll be interesting to see what happens. But yeah, of course, Caroline Levitt is already out there announcing that the name has changed, just like they
Of
did with
course
the
she
Gulf
has.
of Mexico. So
Oh my
love
God.
that journey for
Oh
us.
my God.
Um, Trump signed the military policy bill into law this week. So we talked about this last week. The law is a yearly law that basically pays all of our soldiers. That includes like an increase in soldier pay and some other things. But one of the things that it does do is it reduces the Secretary of Defense, which I refuse to use any of their stupid
Oh,
new
I
monikers,
agree.
right?
I
So
agree.
exactly. So it reduces Hegseth's travel budget to 25% of what it was, unless he comes forward and gives proof that these boats that they are bombing are actually drug boats. And he has to supply footage of the command given when he says that they told him to kill them all. So we'll see
Mm.
what happens there, but it should give us at least a little more information around the double tap that
Yeah.
on September 2nd. Did I mention the Epstein files are due on Friday?
No. Okay. I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming. I just wasn't sure what date exactly it was. So they have to release everything, right?
Correct.
Oh, shit the bed.
Friday 19th is the deadline for the Department of Justice to release all of its files on sex.
Girl.
Yes, ma'am.
Jesus criminy, that's yikes.
And so most people are saying that it's probably not going to happen. Like they're sure that the Department of Justice is going to come up with some excuse as to why they can't. Yep. Yeah. But technically, yes, November 19th was the day that they signed the bill into law, which means that the deadline puts it at December 19th. So that is tomorrow. Yeah. So we'll see what happens there.
Interesting.
I know. And then let's see. Trump signed an executive order that reclassifies marijuana as a Schedule 3 substance instead of the Schedule 1 substance that it is. You and I talked briefly about this. I'm curious what this means for people that have been. So for anyone that doesn't know, Schedule 1 substance is on the same level as like heroin and crack cocaine and so like it's now as a tier 3 substance, it can be utilized for medical purposes. So things like ketamine are considered Schedule 3 substances. Tylenol with codeine is considered a Schedule 3 substance. What's interesting here is that we have a huge number of prisoners that are being held on marijuana charges.
Yeah, the 3-strike law, right?
They're 3 strikers. Exactly right. So I'm curious how many of them are going to try and appeal their conviction and have it at least knocked down to like a misdemeanor or whatever so that they can start getting out of jail, which is going to be interesting considering that like Donald Trump has made an industry out of the prison industrial complex.
Yes.
And then we're going to talk briefly about a throwback. We had talked early days, like I want to say months ago, about Ron DeSantis diverting some taxpayer funds that were earmarked for a Medicaid settlement that he used to fight 2 different bills in Florida, one that was going to overturn the ban on the 6-week abortion and one that was going to legalize marijuana, which I really don't understand why. Well, I guess it's the prison industrial complex is the reason why we don't want to legalize marijuana.
Yeah.
It came out this week that the funds were a lot more than expected. I think originally when we reported it was like $10 million. Now we're up to like $35 million.
35. Yeah. Yeah.
That's not good.
Not good. Not good. And the fact that the money came from helping children and hungry children at that they diverted those funds from those programs.
Well, and didn't you say something like it was the Miami Herald that was the one that
the Miami Herald spent months reviewing thousands of pages of emails, vendor receipts, ad records, and state payments. Like they did a fucking deep dive to find where this money went. They delved into the accounting and budgeting system of the state, which traces the source of every penny in last year's $116.5 billion state budget.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. And they said that the public will not be able to know the precise amount spent by the state because the administration has not turned over key documents requested through the state's open records laws, such as invoices and the ads themselves. But state agencies did not record nearly half of the spending in the state's online contracting database, but reporters tracked the money by tracing 29-digit account codes and 6-digit object codes across 3 different databases. Like,
good Lord.
These fucking reporters
earned their money.
Yeah, they did.
They earned their money.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
$35 million of state money. Like that has to be a law, right? Like that has to be where you can't use government money to fight a political right.
Yeah. Yeah. Like this money was appropriated for needy Floridians in these categories, and then you just unilaterally decide to move that money out of that budget, that line budget to over here so you can buy ad space and you can do, like, what the fuck? And they paid consultants with it. Like they paid political consultants, lawyers, and thousands of advertisements to help DeSantis and his supporters win at the ballot box. Like people should be going to jail.
Yeah. We'll see what happens. We'll see if they actually end up going.
So Jesus Christ.
No shit. Yes, that's exactly right. Okay, so those are the major stories that I had on my list. Nicole, was there anything that I missed that we had on our list?
Oh, I think so. Mm-mm.
Okay. Um, yeah, so it's been quite the week. We did at least get a couple of early Christmas gifts with the Vanity Fair
Yes.
article and Mike Johnson getting his ass kicked. That was a lot of fun.
So great.
And it'll be interesting to see how the ACA vote occurs. So we'll be watching that as well. Real quick, next week is Christmas.
Christmas, yes.
Let's see how busy the weekend is and how busy next week is. A bunch of people are going to be, so I don't know that we'll have a release next week. But maybe we could just, get on and talk about our favorite Christmas movies instead of Donald Trump. We'll see what happens. But regardless, we might be taking a week off depending on if anything actually occurs. It might be 2 weeks depending on if anything occurs over the next 2 weeks, because honestly, I'm pretty sure it's going to be pretty dead over the next 2 weeks.
I know, right? Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yes.
Probably so.
Let's hope. Oh my God. Let's hope.
Yes. Let's hope. That said,
are you ready for your happy ending?
For my happy ending. Okay.
I hate it when I say that, because then I'm like, fuck. Then I've just like put the bar up here and like whatever. But it's so fucking cute. Okay. So this story is coming out of New York City.
Okay.
It's about a guy that carries shelter dogs around the city in his backpack to help them get adopted. Jamie, it's fucking adorable. Okay, ready? Are you listening? Listen to this. So it all started with a corgi in a backpack on a crowded subway car.
I swear to God, if I ran into a person with a corgi in a backpack, girl, I'd be done.
You should see I'm going to send this to you. There's a picture of him with a pit bull in his backpack. So Brian Reisberg noticed that his dog Maxine had a way of cheering people up, bringing light into their lives during their daily commutes underground. Because she was the corgi in his backpack. So before long, he started posting videos of his urban adventures with Maxine on social media. She was known as the dog in the backpack. He ended up quitting his job to create a dog backpack brand, Little Chonk, and a friend encouraged him to see if he could maybe help some homeless shelter dogs. He met up with people at Best Friends Animal Shelter or Animal Society, and they came up with the idea. Every week, he picks up a new shelter dog and takes it into the city in a backpack that has an Adopt Me label attached to it. He shoots videos with the dogs and adds his professional polish to turn the abandoned pets, many of whom have been in shelters for months, into social media superstars. At last count, his content had surpassed 75 million views.
Good Lord. I wonder how many dogs has gotten adopted.
11 dogs have been featured so far. Every one of them have been adopted except for one plagued by an ongoing medical condition. But what's even more impressive is that the adoptions at the shelter have increased substantially. The shelter is saying 100 more dogs have been adopted than this same time last year. Just because he's doing all this stuff on social media. And so people that don't see him in the flesh are seeing all of it on social media.
Well, and like, I'm sure they are like, oh, they go in to adopt a dog. It's already been adopted. Well, let me look at other dogs and whatever. So
on one of his recent videos on Instagram featured Bertha, a 6-year-old bulky white dog that rode piggyback, adding 65 pounds to his back. She strolled through Queens, rode on the subway, gave plenty of kisses, and seemed to capture hearts across New York City and the internet. And she's the pit bull that's in his backpack.
So do they have a backpack for 126-pound dogs?
Oh my God. Can you imagine putting Betty in it?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes, I could. I would love it so much.
Totally emailing this to you so you can see the freaking pictures, because it is adorable. Like,
I love that so much.
Yeah. Isn't it so cute?
What's his Instagram again?
Oh, I did it. He's on Instagram, but I don't know that it says
we got to find
what
him.
It is. His business is Little Chonk. Oh, there's a link in the article that'll take you straight to his Instagram. Let me click on it and see if it'll tell me if it's going to work or not. Oh, it won't let me in because I'm not logged into Instagram on here. But yeah, it's like Maxine the fluffy dog or something like that. Like,
okay,
is what I think
I pulled up the thingy.
Yeah. Oh, you did? You pulled up the article?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you don't need me to send it to you? Okay.
Well, you still send it to me just so I know that I get the right picture.
Oh, okay. Okay.
All right.
Oh my God.
This one's from the Washington Post.
Freaking cute.
Oh gosh, that is so cute.
Yeah. Yeah, I freaking love it. I just love it. And like hilarious. Yeah,
Oh,
his
it's
name's
so
Brian
cute.
Riceberg. So I'm sure that he's got to have.
Okay, it's Mad Max _ Fluffy Road. Maxine the Fluffy Corgi.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Okay, so we'll share that as well as
Yeah.
pictures of him with these dogs because they could not be
So cute.
cuter.
Yeah. So cute.
I would love to
Yeah.
carry Betty around in a backpack
Oh
everywhere
my
I
God.
go.
Can you
I would carry
imagine?
her everywhere I go if
She
I
would kill
could.
your back though. She a big girl.
Listen,
And
I
those big
have,
ass long legs, girl. How would you ever?
but listen, I have lost more weight than she weighs.
I know, but it's not just her weight, it's her legs, girl.
Yeah,
She's so fucking tall, like
yeah.
long.
I don't
Like,
know
my
what.
God.
I know. We'd have to figure that out.
She would love
But
it
I
though.
do it.
Oh
Okay.
my God. And she would love it.
I know. I'd love it too. I'd love
Yeah.
it too.
Yeah.
But Mark wants a pit bull now. He thinks that so Mark got real drunk on Saturday night and decided that we were going to adopt another dog because Betty needs a sister. And so I went to the Great Pyrenees Rescue because I'm like, let's
Oh,
get
sure.
another Great Pyrenees because I love,
Yeah.
Betty's part Pyrenees and I love it.
Yeah.
And I found the perfect dog. And he's like, we're not getting a Pyrenees. We're going to get a pit bull. And I was like, okay. Well, the next day I'm like, are you ready to go to Casey Pet Project and look for a pit bull?
Yeah.
He's like, no.
Oh, I am sober now and I have
I'm
changed
sober.
my mind.
You had your chance. We're done now.
That's
But
hilarious.
if I show him that he could buy a backpack and carry her around in it,
yeah,
yes,
he'd be all about it.
Betty would get so jealous. So,
oh yeah, she would. She would hate it. Yeah.
we can't do that. Okay, all right. Well, we'll figure that out in the Cusick household.
Yes.
Anyway, all right. Well, thank you all for enjoying and indulging this little trip with the corgi and the hot guy that carries dogs around in his backpack.
Mean, yeah.
And I'm just assuming he's hot because, like,
No,
only
is.
hot guys do awesome things like that. Like,
things like
the
that.
fact that he does something cool makes him hot.
Yeah, 100%. Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
100%.
Yes. And I want to like juxtapose a picture of hot guy with this cute pit bull next to Caroline Levitt and her face.
And her fucking lips.
And be like, this is how you take a picture.
Which one's better?
Hey,
yes.
Which one's better? Exactly. Yeah. Rate these pictures.
Oh my God.
Better. Anyway,
so freaking funny.
I know, it's terrible. I'm a terrible human being and I'm definitely going to hell, but I'll see
it.
all of you guys there.
We'll be there, girl.
Yes, indeed. So
yeah.
Please like this video if you've enjoyed it. Subscribe if you want to get updates on our future videos. We're up to 115 subscribers. So we love all of you that have subscribed. Even if my mom is like 6 of those subscribers, I'm still very exactly. Totally I love that. But anyway, we hope you've enjoyed this. We're sorry if we end up not posting in the next couple of weeks, but again, we're really hopeful that like we're not declaring war on Venezuela and that it's really quiet over the next 2 weeks. So we'll see if we have a
holiday break. We'll see.
Yes, we're hoping we can take a holiday break from the craziness.
Yeah.
With that said, we love you all. We hope you have a very happy holidays and we'll see you soon.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.